And we are back. Okay. I have just uploaded the PSDL statement with me getting insulted. The proof is right here. It's still here. I haven't removed the DM yet. I don't intend to do so. I'm gonna keep this up until the battle comes along. But yeah, this is week 1. Week is a bit of a facetious one. I think if it reduced it to 1 week, I think it was 2 weeks at one point. I don't know. Round 1. Let's call it round 1 of the Sharp Court Draft League. My first opponent, if we look here, is Kolink, leader of the Cantankerous Scrub Brawlers. And it is immediately a doozy. This is, you can kind of see what everyone here has. But this is what Kolink drafted. He has an Iron Valiant, which is just immediately a red flag. Iron Valiant can pretty much do whatever it wants to. Right? Anything this thing touches becomes a viable set. That is like the main issue of Iron Valiant. But we'll get to that. This is just a review of what he has. Okay, Garchomp, always good to have. Iron Jugulis. Yep, the second Paradox Pokemon, Bisharp, now new with a Violet. Jesus Christ. Third Paradox Pokemon, in fact, no one else has as many Paradox Pokemon as Kolink does. Here we have Gyarados, he's here. Pincurchin to set up Electric Trade for his 3 Paradox Pokemon, Quark Drive Paradox Pokemon. Toxicity, because he didn't have enough Electric Trade abusers, just Cloth, Drift, and Basculin. Which, you know, they're also here. I guess Cloth is a generator, and Angershell, which is kind of funny. But other than that, I don't see these 3 ever being relevant. Basculin could eventually maybe be relevant, depending on the matchup. I don't know Kolink that well. In fact, I barely know him at all. Besides from the rival scene, because Sharp Court is mainly populated by Rivals of FIFA players. It does have non-Rivals players. So I can't make any judgment calls about Kolink's experience with competitive Pokemon and his skill with it. Besides that, you may not know the fact that Basculin can run Eviolite, which is I don't think many people know that at all. That 3 Pokemon that evolve since Legends Arceus, Standler, Ursaring, and Basculin can run Eviolite, despite the fact that the evolutions are not available in Scarlet and Violet. Which is why I drafted Ursaring. You know, this is my draft. Ursaring is here because he can run a Violet. Okay. Kolink is gonna be an issue. Out of all the people in the draft, he has by far the most cohesive team strategy. Which is both an advantage and a disadvantage, because I can, from the get-go, can tell what he kind of is trying to do with his Pincurchin. Obviously, he wants to have Electric Terrain and he has like 4 abusers. There's a bit of variety you can pull. I can't really tell which one of these 4 abusers are gonna send in after the fact. And all 3 of his Paradox Pokemon can run a separate item from Quark Booster, Quark Drive. No wait, what's the item called? Booster Energy, that's the one. They don't have to run Booster Energy, they can run Life Orb or Leftovers or one of the damage reducing berries, the type berries, to make them even better. Does make them more reliant on Electric Terrain, which is a bit of a downside of this whole thing. I know he's gonna run an Electric Terrain team. There's some stuff that just know he's gonna do. So yeah. This is what I have come up with the stuff that I have. Some of it might be a bit confusing. I'm gonna go over this one at a time. Starting with the easiest to explain, Garganical. Nicknamed, maybe I could go over the nicknames real quick. Galate, Scalapuya, low kicks, the Phantom, the low kicks, Golem, Model A, the Garganical, Grimsnarl as Astura Basura, Serena as Leviathan, and finally Fafnir, the Haxorus. Yes, specifically Fafnir with an E. Some of you might realize what these are. These are all nicknamed after bosses from the first Mega Man Zero game. So we have Puya, Phantom, Leviathan, and Fafnir are the 4 guardians. Golem, Model A, is the first boss you fight in the game, which is the only thing that looks remotely like Garganical. It's not actually called Golem Model A, it's just called Golem, but Pokemon Showdown doesn't allow you to nickname Pokemon for anything other than itself, like as a species. Like you can't give a Pokemon a nickname that is the name of another species of Pokemon. You can't just call it Golem, because Golem exists. So I named it Model A that to make it legal, because in the art, like in the art booklet that my good friend Shadow showed me, there's a description of Golem and it's the A model, Model A. It's because the first one. And then Basura, because out of all the bosses that look the most like Grimmsnarl. Yeah, let's go with the stats in detail. Garganical, Golem Model A is literally just a Garganical. I don't know what else to like really explain. This is supposed to be here. Assault Cure, Iron Defense, Body Press, Recover. It's literally just supposed to be Garganical. There's nothing fancy going on here because there doesn't need to be anything fancy going on. It's just Garganical is good in OU for a reason. Some might say, well, you should probably account for Iron Valiant, and I am. This is actually how to account for Iron Valiant. No form of Iron Valiant can actually one-shot Garganical with this stat spread. In fact, once I start setting up Iron defenses, the only thing on Kolink's team who can even remotely put a dent in Garganical is his Garchomp if he uses Sword Stance to match my Iron Defense boost. And if I have a head start, that's just not an option, because he gets Salt Cure, I could just recover over, get Body Press repeatedly. Garchomp is not gonna be able to do that. Yeah, but Garganical is not a win condition. It's definitely not the only one. It is a win condition, but this team has multiple. The entire point of this team is to literally just punch holes. It is extremely aggressively offensively oriented. I very much am going to aggressively sack Pokemon, which will be fine as long as I can go for higher traits than just a 1-for-1. If I trade a 1-for-1, that's kind of not good. I do definitely want some damage on the follow-up Pokemon. For low kicks, Phantom, the low kicks, to come in and do his job of revenge killing, which is he's really good at. He's good at it. Good at it. Very good. Maximum attack, element, because first impression is his go-to tool, a 90 base power priority move that only works on the first turn. Glizzapod introduced it in Generation 7. Low kicks took it in this generation and is just running with it, because it is the only one that gets it like with with Tinted Lens. Tinted Lens, Pokemon's attacks are not very effective on a target, deal double damage. With its help, Phantom can pretty much revenge kill anything. In fact, I have a Google sheet, a Google Doc, where I keep percentages of all of Kolink's Pokemon. Even Cloth, Driftbloom, and what's its face? Basculin, Eviolite Basculin. From which percentage of health can low kicks one-shot with first impression? Axe Kick is here because Bishop dies, even with Eviolite, to a single Axe Kick from the set. U-turn, just in case I needed Leech Life, because I didn't need Throat Chop. There's nothing in Kolink's team that required me to have Throat Chop in any way. Even Driftbloom I didn't need it for Driftbloom. I don't think Driftbloom's gonna show up at all. And if Phantom himself is supposed to do damage, punch holes, Leech Life is probably his best option, because you can keep it going longer. So yeah, these are the two more self-explanatory because they pretty much run what you would expect them to run on a regular team. The same really goes for Leviathan, the Serena. This was originally in DD. I actually had Ndidi in this slot to counteract Kolink's Pinkerton, so we would have like a terrain battle going on. But in test games, shoutouts to Andrew, good friend Andrew, we did some test games, he built a team out of Kolink's Pokemon. I never really found myself having trouble to deal with the electric terrain. In DD, was mostly hindrance. Didn't really contribute anything, mostly just served as free switch-ins for his team, and Leviathan has a much better opportunity to do damage compared to Ndidi, because Ndidi loves expanding force for whatever reason. I don't understand. But Pinkerton loves rising voltage, so it kind of evens out. Yeah, Leviathan, Serena is supposed to take advantage of Pinkerton having to come in the first place. It tanks anything that Pinkerton can possibly throw out. It removes the hazards that Pinkerton throws around, and it can increase its speed with Trailblaze and Rapid Spin while it's in there, which is really what Leviathan wants to set up. Play rough and high jump kick it then to hit targets I can't hit with a Trailblaze and Rapid Spin, or I would not want to hit with them. A high jump kick obviously for Bishop, and then play rough for Iron Valiant and Iron Juggler, because I really want the Iron Valiant to die as soon as possible. That is the big thing. If the Iron Valiant dies, it's pretty much curtains for Kolink from there, which is what the entire point, the entire team's strategy really, is to neuter Iron Valiant as much as possible, make it a setup opportunity for me, and then kill anything else in the crossfire. That's like the optimal scenario. So yeah, Leviathan kills the Pinkerton preferably, if it doesn't kill itself with a Memento. It's boosted speed because that's not really all that great, but I still would also like the bulky variant, so you can still answer Iron Valiant, which you can actually do quite decently, not a lot. You can do it like once. Moonblast does like somewhat under half on non-specs variants. Specs variants do a little bit over half. If I could recall the calculation correctly, I have it written down somewhere, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Then we have Hapuya, the Gallade. I mean, the fact that I brought Gallade was pretty much obvious from the start. Gallade is my favorite Pokemon, and it's just... it was also the first I drafted. I really wanted to bring Gallade. I'm really happy that's actually a good choice here too, because Psycho Cut, just with Sharpness boost, is enough to one-shot Iron Valiant. If Iron Juggler wants to commit in, it can't take a Sacred Sword. If Gyarados tries to do shenanigans, I can still click Leaf Blade. I mean, Psycho Cut is gonna do more damage than Leaf Blade, I know, don't worry. The main point of Leaf Blade here is to have a flexible option, really. So I can click a move without having to run the risk of it not being effective at all, if that makes sense. I don't expect to be clicking Leaf Blade. I mean, I am Terra-type Psychic, because Psycho Cut is the go-to move here. I've Aggro Berry Agility set, because Kolink has the two Dark types, and with Iron Valiant I can't just pick a stab and run with it. I can't even do that with Aqua Cutter because of Gyarados. I can't run with a single good move. So I really need to being able to swap out my moves on the fly, depending on what Pokemon comes in for Gallade to be effective. And this speed stat of 216, Jolly, is spread out, is calced to outspeed any form of Iron Valiant after 1 agility boost. Even Scarfed Iron Valiant is going to be outrun after 1 agility boost by this Gallade. The only instance where Iron Valiant can still outrun me is if it's Scarfed and Quark Drive triggered on speed. Which, if that's the case, if a Quark Drive triggers on speed, Iron Valiant's not going to be strong enough to out-damage Golem Model Ace Recover. Something I also found out in the battle against Andrew. Huge shoutouts. So yeah, Agraf Berry, it's really more of, I didn't know what else to put on here. Life Ops are necessary, I get the kills I need to, anything else is a 2-shot. I could do the, what do you call it, the attack increasing berry, but once again, not really necessary. If Gallade happens to get to the range of Agraf Berry, I end up being with bulk, because Gallade does have a really decent natural special defense to take advantage of. HP is lacking, but you know, we take what we can get. That's Apoya. Is one of the win conditions to like finish off the team. Finish off Kolink's team. Nothing really can switch in on this. Like, he has to sack something to answer Hapuya, which is kind of the point, really. It's also the point for Fafnir, who's like builds like a duo with Hapuya in this scenario. Like Hapuya, Fafnir kind of wants a situation to set up in. Specifically Dragon Dance. Obviously, it's Haxorus. The speed is also, once again, same scenario, although Haxorus has no chance to outspeed Scarf Iron Valiant after 1 Dragon Dance. I calc this. It cannot do that, unfortunately. Would need some much more investment I can't afford. It does outspeed everything other than that. Out after 1 Dragon Dance, which is the point. Tarot type Poison, which resists both Iron Valiant stabs. If Iron Valiant is somehow locked because of Choice Scarf or Choice Specs and Thunderbolt, that's another opportunity to go in because I naturally resist that. And purposefully no item to switch in a knockoff. Same reason really with as Hapuya. Didn't really need an item on Fafnir. His power is enough. Poison Jab after 1 DD is a guaranteed 1-shot. Without the attack boost, it's a possible 1-shot. Close combat to hit the Iron Thorns, which is part rock. The Bisharp, which dies even without an attack boost. The Violet really does not help much in this scenario. And Dragon Claw for the Garchomp. Poison Jab for pretty much anything that doesn't resist it. Which is, you know, a lot actually. But it's still really important for the Iron Valiant. I also didn't go Steel type because Fighting type would then still be super effective against me. So yeah, the speed is the same way as Apoya. Once again, the point of this is not to win the game. The point of this is to set up on something and just go on a rampage. Deplete Kolink's of resources, of options, enable Hapuya to come in after the fact with an easy setup opportunity. Maybe Hapuya did the other way around. Or they made some holes for Fafnir to come in. They don't need to win the game. They don't need to kill Iron Valiant. They can just do a lot of damage. I have a lot of options. I can like switch which Pokemon does what on the fly, which is the kind. It's the point. This works. Unearth on Fafnir to prevent any what you call it, the type berries, the berries that reduce damage if you get hit super effectively. Those things. To prevent those from happening. There wasn't anything that necessitated Mold Breaker and Revelry is just bad, so Unearth it is. And for those wondering why I'm running an item on Hapuya but not on Fafnir, if they pretty much don't need an item both. Because Hapuya just can't really take a knockoff even without an item. So they really need that. Okay, lastly, let's go over the Grimmsnarl Asura Basura, which is probably the strangest set I am bringing. It is pretty much box standard, Light Clay, Prankster, Terratap Steel, so I can, set up an Iron Valiant more easily. Maybe I should also change that to Poison. I don't expect to be terrestrializing Asura Basura at all. It's kind of Fafnir is my main terrestrialized target. Golem, Model A, maybe, if necessary. If I didn't need to with Fafnir, which is a possibility. I might not need to. The strange thing about Grimmsnarl is that it doesn't run a single damaging move. It has 4 status moves. First of all, I got the screens, Reflect and Light Screen, to allow Hapuya, Golem, and Fafnir and Leviathan more easier switching opportunities. Allows them to set up longer, keep the rampage going longer, which is what I want to do. It's numerically ends up being more advantageous for me. Thunder Wave to neuter Iron Valiant even more. I want Iron Valiant to be as much of a detriment to Kolink as humanly possible, and this helps with this. And Parting Shot, because having priority pivoting is really good. Really freaking good. Grimmsnarl getting Parting Shot is such a huge deal. I do need to be careful with it, because I don't know if Kolink knows this, but Dark types are immune to Prankster. So any status moves boosted in priority by a Prankster used against a Dark type will fail entirely. So you can switch in, Bisharp or Iron Jugulis, that he's 2 Dark types, onto Grimmsnarl, and will have to switch manually, which is a bit of a shame. I hope he's not going to do it because of Thunder Wave. But yeah, Grimmsnarl really is just here to neuter Iron Valiant and create switching opportunities, rampaging opportunities for Hapuya, Golem, Leviathan, and Fafnir. And once they faint, their rampage is over. Phantom does a revenge kill if whatever Pokemon Kolink has out is in range to do so. And if not, I'ma just go back into Grimmsnarl if he's still alive. If not, I'm just gonna go into the next one of the 4 wall breakers, wherever has the easiest time to go in now and do some damage now. Whoever has the best matchup against Kolink's current Pokemon that will come in, which is pretty logical, isn't it? But yeah, in the ideal scenario, Grimmsnarl comes in, sets up his screens, leaves for one of these 4. They start punching holes until they faint. Phantom cleans up whatever comes out next. Then Grimmsnarl comes back in, sets up his screens again, Parting Shot in the next 3 that remain. We kind of keep this whole train rolling until Kolink is out of Pokemon. That is really what I'm trying to do. Okay. I think that's long enough. It's already been 24 minutes. I think I need to make these shorter, I believe. Yeah, it's the first time I'm doing this. Yeah, this is my strategy versus Kolink, so into the battle we go. And here we go. Immediately back. This is the battle for round 1 of the Sharp Court Draft League against Kolink, which is him. This is Kolink. I certainly hope so. That's definitely that's the name he sent me. And we are going to send out the challenge. Let's see. Okay, so the challenge has been sent out, which is waiting on him. Except there we go. He actually brought Riften and Basculin. What the hell? Um. Huh. Okay. Not what I expected. I'm gonna be completely, entirely real. In fact, he only brought Garchomp, which wasn't entirely unlikely he would bring it, but I also didn't expect it. Which really doesn't have Bisharp. He doesn't have Bisharp, he doesn't have Iron Jugulus. Which means Grimmsnarl can just, for free, do things. Sherry, of course he brought Iron Valiant, why wouldn't he? Yeah, exactly, why wouldn't he? I mean, I tried to, with subliminal messaging about how Iron Valiant is not an issue and like, blah 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 blah. I kind of tried to like get a message across, hey, Iron Valiant is so easy for me, like, I could find so much around it. It would free it from me off if you didn't bring it, in the hopes it wouldn't, but yes, okay. Which is absolutely fair. Do we lead off with Grimmsnarl or Logix? That's the question here. What is... I mean, the only thing I can see as a lead of any kind is... Actually, doesn't Baskin get... Oh, wait. Learn. Bastion can't learn Flip Turn. Okay, that's good to know. I'm gonna lead off with Grimmsnarl. Okay. He immediately goes into Iron Valiant, and his Quark Drive triggers on speed. Okay. I am equally invested in defense and special defense. Do I Thunder Wave immediately? I would say so. Yeah, I'm gonna Thunder Wave immediately. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Sword stance. I should have. Oh god, one of the previous builds of this team actually had a choice scarf on the Grimmsnarl instead of Thunder Wave to fuck over Iron Valiant that way, but I ended up going Thunder Wave in the end, and now it's biting me in the ass. He is running knockoff. Okay, Sword Stance and knockoff. Interesting. I assume then play Wrath and close combat? That's like my assumption right now. So I'm gonna Parting Shot, reduce the attack, get a free switch, and go into Fafnir on this. Spirit Break, yep. That's absolutely fine. I need to look at something up real quick. This cut speed. I forgot how much paralysis cuts the speed. Generation 8 onward. 50%. So it's at 364 divided by 2 plus 1.5. times 1.5. I'm gonna go ahead and calc that real quick. I know that Poison Jab is gonna kill from this range. Especially if I terrestrialize. Divided by 2 times 1.5. 273. It is going to outspeed me. Unfortunate. So we do kind of, well, the Spirit Break super effective at 68. If it's not very effective, I'm going to live. I can Dragon Dance here. Terrestrialize into Poison and Dragon Dance. And he's paralyzed. Okay. This is what we're talking about. This is great. This is good. I'm just going to Poison Jab here. Yep. Okay, and that's the Iron Valiant dealt with. Don't bring it. I kind of did tell him. Yeah, the paralysis didn't matter. Because he would not have done enough damage with just doing a Spirit Break to KO Fafnir. Because it would have resisted. So yeah, Pincurchin. Does it have chilling water? That's the question I know. I'm just gonna Poison Jab. 60%, and it's poisoned. Thunder Wave, okay. Thunder Wave, Thunder Wave, Thunder Wave. That is okay, honestly. I do regret not picking a Lumberry now. That would have been cool. But I did... It didn't come into play at all. The Fafnir doesn't have an item. But that's fine, it's fine. We are up 4-6, 6-4. Hindenburg, okay. Right, yeah, with seeds, you can do shenanigans that way. Probably has Burden Boost. Driftblim is resisted to poison, if I remember. Yes, it is, so I'm just gonna Dragon Claw. Strength Sap. I see. And he actually managed to get a paralysis. That is unfortunate. It's something I'm just gonna have to deal with now. Acrobatics, that kills. Okay. Fafnir, you did an amazing job. You did what you were supposed to. You killed 2 Pokemon. You got Chip on another. You stalled the electric terrain. Honestly, I could not have asked for better things from you. Okay. So Strength Sap, Acrobatics. Its speed is currently increased because of Unburden. I'm gonna Grimmsnarl. Attack dropping is not gonna matter to me at all. Okay, he knows I have Thunder Wave, Reflect, and Parting Shot. He's probably gonna read the Thunder Wave and might switch into Garchomp or Iron Thorn, so I'm just gonna immediately Reflect, which is also good against right now because Acrobatics is physical. Thunder Wave, and it hits, okay. Memento. Okay. I am absolutely fine with this. Iron Thorns. Going to Parting Shot this. I can't Thunder Wave it. I know that. Parting Shot. So he ends up with, I think, back to base attack, if I am not mistaken. And I think the play is to go into Garganical now. He's already down 3 Pokemon, and Garganical kind of doesn't do well against all 3 of these. And has the best chance to survive some from Iron Thorns. Alright, yeah, I'm still behind the reflect. I forgot about that bit. And he lost his attack boost from the Grog Dive. I mean, he Dragon Danced back, but yeah, no. It's all cute. Yeah, now you're on the timer. I can get an Iron Defense off, I think. Yeah. Yeah, because he is now going to boost. That was a bad decision on your end. Or not. That was a bad decision on my end. I should have... I could have done this a bit better. Low kick is now going to get the kill on Garganical. Wild charge. Get some recoil. Sure, go ahead. Thank you. Yeah, Phantom. Phantom's gonna come in, is gonna click the U-turn. Actually... Yeah, that's a good question, Sherry. Why didn't you just low kick again, Kolink? You could have avoided some recoil damage. I think I'm gonna have to click first impression because I'm not gonna be fast enough with U-turn. That's gonna outspeed. So yeah, that is another one down. It is gonna force you to switch now, but I don't know if he knows I have choice band. If he realizes that or not. Let's go back into Asura Pursuer, Dimensional. First I can reflect off before Serena is coming in, and then Apoya is hopefully gonna clean house. Yep, Dragon Claw! Go ahead, sure, thanks. Substitute. I think... Parting Shot still goes through that though. Okay, Sword Stance, yes. I'm gonna Trailblaze. It does neutral damage. Yep. Now I have Speed Boost. And my speed is boosted, and substituting again. I have revealed the Play Wrath. Okay, if he substitutes again, Trailblaze one-shots the substitute. If he doesn't, I'm gonna outspeed him after the next Trailblaze. Yeah, I'm going to Trailblaze. I don't know if he can KO me through the Reflect, and now I'm gonna outspeed him. This might actually... Oh, it's right. That did not just happen. Oh god, I missed! I mean, Leviathan is alive. I completely forgot he hasn't terastallized yet. Okay, Earthquake, but that fails. What speed are you at? 333. Wait a second. Okay, I'm gonna check something. What is Garchamp's low kicks range? By default, it's 54.6 to 64.1 at 0 defense investments, which is with the dragon ground typing. Dragon weak Garchomp has no bug resistance, but Fairy does, which doesn't actually matter. Because of Tinted Lens, which empowers boosted, they essentially become a neutral hit. So, low kicks. First impression. Kill. Murder. Yep. Rough Skin doesn't matter. I'm now gonna switch back into Grimmsnarl. If I survive, to Thunder Wave, Reflect, usual business. And then Glade can Leaf Blade as masculine. Called 1972 Ford Pinto. Agility. Oh, you poor sod. Really, that's what you're going with. Wave Crash, I live. Oh no. Oh no. I kinda want him to kill Grimmsnarl now though. So good. Please? No? Okay. Might as well reveal the light screen to funny ha-has. Even if Tapuya doesn't survive this hit. Oh no. Oh buddy. Oh no. Wave Crash, yeah, no. that's all she wrote. That is all she wrote. GG's Kolink with the team view. The sets were not exactly well made. I was scared when the Iron Valiant clicked sword stats. I'm gonna be honest, I was very scared at that point, but thanks to Thunderwave kind of won me the battle. That's the paralysis of Iron Valiant really was the deciding factor, wasn't it? It wasn't entirely hacks because I got paralyzed once too. And I missed the play rough, so it evened out. Good set indeed, yeah. So yeah, first win. Fantastic start. But yeah, this is it for now. Round 1 is done. So I'm gonna sign off. And remember to always stay hydrated. See ya.